Are there mental health resources for students on campus? If so, how effective are they, and do they cost extra?
There are actually a lot of free mental health resources on campus. There's Uncle Joe's, which is an amazing peer counseling resource where you can call or stop by to talk about anything you're dealing with. There are also group therapy sessions that are called Let's Talk. And you can also get 9 free mental health sessions with a counselor on campus. And I think the resources are actually very helpful, but you actually have to use them for them to work. I think the process for scheduling and beginning to get the free counseling sessions needs to be just a little easier and more accessible. But other than that, I think they're effective.
What is your favorite QuestBridge event that you have participated in?
My favorite event was at the beginning of the school year when we had our ice cream social. It was a really good way for me to see the members of the QuestBridge community, as well as see some familiar faces from people that I met earlier in that summer, or have just talked to through our QuestBridge group chat. And it was just a really nice way to wind down, especially after meeting a whole bunch of new faces at our floor meeting, and just a bunch of new people during orientation.
My favorite QuestBridge event that I've participated in has to be our game night. We had a bunch of different tables with different games, and we all just came together and played different games and built a community for a really strong foundation for our WashU QuestBridge chapter.
Does the QuestBridge network interact with other groups? If so, what groups?
During the second semester of the previous year, we were talking about holding joint programming between us and the Deneb Stars, which is a much larger group, and also with Trio, which is a smaller group, but all three more or less offer services to first-gen low-income students. And we thought this would be a good opportunity to intermingle between each other and offer more broad programming that we could probably not offer with our limited funding. Although due to COVID-19, this didn't happen, we definitely have that as a possibility on the table for this upcoming semester and for the future to come. And we're more than open to hosting joint programming as the time progresses with a lot more different organizations as we see fit.
What academic resources are there on campus? Are there any free ones?
The Textbook Savvy resource, it might not necessarily seem like an academic source, but so basically the WashU Olin Library came up with this idea to give students the opportunity to have books. And basically they could use library services in order to get classroom books without having to pay money out of pocket. Books are expensive, especially if you're an incoming freshman. I remember freshman year, my books were almost $700, and I ended up not buying all of them because I was just like, I'm not spending $700 on some books. But I'm really glad this resource came in handy because by senior year, I literally stopped caring about paying a bunch of money to get books, and it was really helpful to have this resource because then I was able to use it as an alternative.
Well, personally, I took individual mentoring for up to 2 to 3 classes per semester, and that was the biggest help to ensuring my academic success. This is free. It is provided either through the school that you're in, or Deneb also has some mentors. You could always reach out to Deneb if you do have questions about a specific career path. Trio Scholars also provides a lot of those kinds of services. RPM hours are free. Your professor's office hours, TA office hours are amazing resources. And you don't generally have to pay for the help that you need as long as you reach out to the right people and understand that help is there as long as you're proactive about it.
There's a writing center at WashU. Please utilize this. If you are an incoming student, I know you feel like, oh my God, I feel weird reaching out for help, but the writing center is a lifesaver. I did not use it until junior year at WashU, and it saved my life. I hate writing. Writing is one of my least favorite things to do, but as a psych major, I had to write a lot of research papers. It's just a lot. It was very helpful to have someone who knows their writing to actually look at my stuff and be like, okay, maybe you should switch it this way. It was very helpful for me senior year too, and I'll definitely recommend using the writing center.
So this school year, I really utilize the RPM hours. especially for my Calc 2 and 3 classes. RPM hours are residential peer mentors, and they're basically tutors that have kind of like office hours in different dorms. And usually the ones that I went to were in the dorm just right next to the one that I stayed in. And that's where I was able to get help with homework, as well as kind of understanding some of the topics that I didn't understand as well during class. And then I also really like PLTL, which is peer-led team learning. And it's kind of like a structured study group, but you get a credit for it. And all you really have to do is participate and try your best to get the credit. And I found it really helpful for physics and, again, calculus. And then if you're an engineering student, you can request tutoring through the Engineering Student Service Office and get free tutors that way.